yeah, this is very much a guerrilla stream. Also, I'm lowering the music because it's loud. Very much so. Yeah, it's like, again, this is a surprise stream because I was surprised that I was gonna do it itself. I had plans for the evening, and then I heard, like, yesterday from my friend that, plans cancelled. Have a nice day. And I'm like, oh, like, not canceled but delayed, but yeah. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing a-okay. I had this, yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for something. Yeah, you know how it is with me, yeah, that happens. I think that, like, the thing I want to show, the thing I'm the most proud of. Doing well excited for 99, how are you? I was doing good. I had some, friends over. We played Jackbox, and it had pizza. It was really fun. Other than that, I did my, weekly exercise today, which is something that I'm always very proud of myself, even when I'm not giving up on it. Yeah, as for the games, we played Survive the Internet and Monster Dating, and also one of the Civic Doodles games. It's Jackbox 4, and it was a lot of fun. I think that Jackbox is really fun, but it's especially fun like when you played with other people face to face. So yeah, good times. Yeah, but yeah, Jackbox is dope. I don't own any Jackbox games myself, but like, I have friends who do, so I just rely on them for that entertainment. It's probably my. I think that, like, it's really nice to see all the party games that are offered there. It's like it's always a really fun collection with fun visuals. Yeah. Other than that, like, I was working today, and like one thing that I noticed today is that I basically have to do what I am now nicknaming sleep checks. Because, like, do you know how you sometimes work and then all of a sudden you get, like, you just feel the drowsiness and you're like, oh shit, I gotta lie down. Like, that happened to me all the time in university. Dang, I was gonna suggest Jackbox viewer since it has streamer mode. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go for it eventually. That sounds like a fun thing to do. But yeah. Also, yeah, today I was working and I'm like, okay, Hale, it's time to do a sleep check. And I'm like, a sleep check? You feel your body growing heavy. Your eyes are forced to close. Are you going to take a nap? And I just had to, like, it felt like rolling a d10. We used to Jackbox Next on the server pretty often, not recently. Yeah, but like I'm always up for Jackbox. So yeah. So like I would do my sleep checks, and then I would usually roll like so far I managed to like succeed my sleep checks, because if I fail them and I'm like, okay, fuck, I guess I gotta go upstairs and like take a nap. But I did not succumb to naps. I did not succumb to my nappies, to the urge to go eepy, which is really tough, I gotta admit, but it's doable. I haven't slept since yesterday, lol. Yeah. But I know you also don't like sleeping, so I guess that's understandable. So yeah. Other than that, man, I'm trying to like think of how to how to articulate, but I guess I don't have much articulating to do. I tried Hollow Knight yesterday. Like my friend brought his Nintendo Switch with the Jackbox, and basically, and because he is a Skonger, he had Silksong and Hollow Knight. And I tried playing Hollow Knight, only to realize that if there's one game I don't know, I want to play the game, but like, man, guys, you do not want to watch me play Hollow Knight. I'm not gonna be good at Hollow Knight. It's gonna be not fun for anyone involved. It's not gonna be fun for me because I'm bad at the game, and it's not gonna... because I have really bad 2D platformer. Yeah. I mean, I'm not good at it, but I don't really play Metroidvanias. It's not a genre I'm really playing. But it's like, it's a lot of precise platforming, and I think that I'm pretty decent in 3D platformers. I mean, I played Mario Odyssey and I'd had a pretty good time. Puzzle platformers are a different genre, because I'm not very good at puzzles. The only reason why I'm alright in Zero Escape is because, like, I'm okay at it, but like, I'm not that good at it. It's like, you guys saw that I got stuck a couple of times, and I have, bad perceptions. It's like, no, I'm decent, yeah, it's like, I'm decent, but like, you guys saw me play Portal and Outer Wilds. I'm just not very good at platformers, so I don't think you want me to... I don't think you guys want me to see me play, Portal and Outer Wilds. Unless you guys are masochistic. I really love Hollow Knight. Like, I saw Oro Crony, the VTuber, play it a couple of years ago, and I'm like, oh wow, this game is really fucking cool. It looks beautiful. It's beautiful, and the characters are nice, and like, I remember like, and I'm also just a big fan of like seeing bits of Silksong. I'm like, oh my god, look at all the new little guys. Like, this is the game that's filled with all the little guys and little bugs, and it's so cute. My favorite one is the mushroom that goes rah, 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 rah. And like there's like in Silksong there's one that's like there's a new type which is very fluffy, and I'm like, oh my god, I think that like Silksong coming into the world has made it slightly more peaceful. Like, things are still pretty shitty, but like, all my friends hate that mushroom. Yeah, no, the mushroom looks annoying, but like, I like how I said the wow, and people already know what I'm saying, but no, I know the mushroom looks vile. Each one of them just looks like an evil little menace to society, if you know what I mean. Get what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyhow, slightly more peaceful. There was a political assassination yesterday. What? Oh my god! Sorry. Oh boy, oh my god, what the fuck? I'm confused. I'm very baffled. Jesus. Oh, yeah. I was like, okay. That makes... Okay. I think I found out about it. Like, again, I am not from the US. And, I'm a snow hermit. Especially now so, because Larry the Yeti's on vacation. So, like, I just lived under a rock. And I think I only found out about, like, that political assassination because of Haru Urara. Like, someone made a meme that, like, people are mourning Haru Urara more than they are mourning the person who passed away. Like, I know the name of the guy. I know, like, he was not a very like, he was not a very good guy, but like, I am going to, because I'm in a public live stream, I'm not gonna do any I'm not gonna commentate on it that much. But wow, that's fucking wild. Yeah, and Haru Urara, the pink funny horse passed away. But like she passed away peacefully. It's still really sad that she's no longer with us. She brought a lot of people happiness. Like she brought a lot of people happiness in real life. Like when Uma Musume came out, like she just got like a whole other surge of love from people who found out about her and fell in love with her. I think that there's something really nice about like everyone just loving this horse that never won a single race, but man, she's so charming, and she has a pink Hello Kitty mask, and there is an image of her with a flower. It's so cute. Sorry, Mercy, no Zero. No, we are doing Zero Escape. You guys see I'm setting it up. But like I was just about to begin. I just wanted to like just say a bunch of things. Yeah. You know, it's really wild how sometimes you discover about current events through the weirdest means possible. Back on my like I know that like one of the ways in which people like used to uncover public events back in the day, and I think they're still doing it now on Tumblr, is that like they would do it with the with the photo set from Supernatural, about like two characters, Dean and Castiel, and like Castiel would say "I love you," and then Dean would basically like say the newest current event, and that was really funny. Like I think that like I only watched like a few episodes of Supernatural back in middle school, not enough to get into it, but I am aware, like 2 episodes, I think. I watched like the first 2 episodes of season 1, and then I never continued for whatever reason. But yeah, when the internet exploded when Supernatural finale aired, people just lost their shit. It was really funny. But yeah. So with that being said, we are going to be continuing the game. We're going to be continuing Zero Escape. Finished season 11 of Supernatural. Have yet to continue it. Wow, it's pretty crazy. It ran for so long. 11 seasons is pretty crazy. So last stream we began our basically our safe route. We went with Snake and with Seven, where we investigated the first class cabin, and then we went to the casino. We discovered that Snake has amnesia. Seven has amnesia. Yeah, and that Snake is relatively smug and charming, but like it would not go down without a fight, which goes to wonder how did he let himself get killed in the previous route. We also explored things. We also explored other areas. This time we went with Lotus and Clover instead of going with Akane, because last time we went with Akane to an escape room in our second divergence. It did not end well for anyone. We saw corpses, and then we were streamlined to like a bottom door, and then everyone died. In this route, however, we went with Clover and Lotus. We were in a mysterious laboratory where there was a test subject called Science Boy who died for our sins, and we also discovered that Lotus is a super secret hacker, and she told us some things that she may or may not have been serious about. Lotus is an interesting character because you never know what you're gonna get with her, and it seems like every time she like brings an interest, like a weird thought experiment, it's always like covered with layers of I don't know if irony is the word here, but it's always like covered with layers of jokingness. Like, don't take me seriously, I'm just kidding. Like, what if our brains are like computers? Just kidding. I was just trying to pass the time, Junpei. Don't take me seriously. Oh, and another thing that happened is that I did a dramatic reading of the Get Wet monologue. Dialogue. It's not a monologue because two people were speaking, but it was really, but I managed to stay in character. And it was very funny. And now, we discovered Snake is dead. He died, just as the ninth man did. Dramatic piano noises. It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized that he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three were frozen in place, their faces white. Oh my god. That's not true, is it? We should make sure. Yeah, right, we should. They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door. Wait, not that way. They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number. I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. Also, I gotta point it out. It's really, really cool how 7. Yeah. It's really cool how the reason why doors are opened in this game, in contrast to like Virtue's Last Reward, where the game is more orchestrated. Like, you have a facility that like was made for this game, and like once you all solve the escape rooms, you have access to all the rooms. What I like about this game is that, like, the reason why you're able to backtrack to certain rooms is because 7, like, manages to secure ways in and out. And that was not there in, like, VLR. And it's one of the really nice details about this game. It really also shows that, like, 7 is the only one who, like, makes sure that, like, we have a way to return. Because sometimes the doors lock back. So yeah, I think that's a really cool piece of detail and characterization about 7. We also saw that, like, when we escaped the casino and the hotel room, 7 made sure we had a way to go back just in case. It's not locked, so you can go in that way. Where is he? The shower room on the left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open. We can get in without going through the numbered door, right? Yeah, that's right. Their new destination clear. Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall. It hadn't been opened since they'd been through before. But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open. They looked at it for a moment, and then stepped inside. Ugh, it smells horrible. Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut. Yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke. It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. You know, like, so when I was like 12, and like I was watching Let's Plays of this game on YouTube, because I had no idea how to emulate video games back in the day. I remember being I remember being viscerally disgusted and kind of scarred by all the gore descriptions in the game. It's like, again, I had a few encounters before I just watched the Let's Play of the entire game, and that was my first encounter where I was just watching Let's Plays of the game in really bad quality. YouTube, 2012 YouTube was somewhere else. But I remember, like, the gore scenes very viscerally and just being disgusted by them. It's like, oh god, this is gnarly. It's like, I was very squeamish back then. I remember, like, I remember, like, a few years beforehand, in elementary school, my dad was watching Indiana Jones. Like, we were watching the first Indiana Jones, and I remember, like, seeing the climax, and that, like, kept me up at night. I could not go to sleep. It was a sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance of his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what was little of his stomach where it belonged. They didn't have to wonder where the body was. There was blood everywhere, a few arms of splatter reaching towards them as they walked through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider. June, you should stay here. What? Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright? He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder, as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole turned, and walked toward the end of the divider. I mean, that'll be a good one. Previous run, she had a nervous breakdown to the point of self-harm. It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded, slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around a corner. For a moment he forgot how to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in the Great Red Sea. Look, it doesn't seem like I can fast forward this. A vast, ragged hole has been torn in his torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out like fresh spaghetti. Yeah, I was just looking at some things I got in my DMs. They look really cool. The vast, ragged hole has been torn from the torso. Q pushing up Roses. So this guy's dead. Oh, I like pushing up Roses. She's really cool. I haven't watched her in years, but I really like her Murder, She Wrote videos. They're very entertaining. I think it's also really nice because a lot of these shows are just because we're not in a lot of these shows don't get like the limelight that they get. I know that like when it comes to detective shows from like from the 80s, I know that like Columbo is the one that gets the most recognition. I need to watch Columbo one of these days. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and became stuck there as they dried. Yeah, sorry. Sorry for breaking character. It was just really... I just responded to this. Globals of yellowish... I've been begging her to cover rosemary and thyme. Wait, that's a... What's rosemary? Rosemary and thyme is... my god, that sounds really cool. Nice. That sounds really cute. Look it up. It sounds like a really cool idea. Just like Ace said. Santa's voice was straining. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own. Just like the ninth man. The detonator's bracelet set off the bomb in his gut. Yeah, it was a fun show. It looks like a fun show. It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seems to have been well enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head has simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. A lot of Italian food analogies. You know, I just ate pizza before this stream. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks. They were all familiar to Junpei. No mistake about that. It's Snake. Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. The sequel of Tortured Metal made Junpei's teeth curl. Be gone, bot. I was just about to be... Okay, banned forever. The squeal of Tortured Metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on the edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Snake was probably murdered. Okay, this is, we all saw this already. Junpei wasn't sure. Yeah, we're gonna go with this. Of course he was. Well, that's possible. Well, that's possible. Huh? Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us. What are you saying, Junpei? Did you hear what Ace said? Exactly. I said we shouldn't expect one another for no reason. No reason? I've got a great reason. And what's that? They're bracelets. He held out his left arm. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere and watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set up by a detonator in the bracelets? You got a point. I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the nonary game. All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward. Why is that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that? Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Sant who answered. So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right? Yeah. Junpei nodded. 7. When we were talking earlier, you said one of us could be Snake's killer, right? Yeah, something like that. Alright then, I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right? Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation. So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake equals 0 equals one of us. 7 and Ace's theory aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if 0 is one of us. No one spoke. Defeating Ace with facts and logic. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed them or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up. What were his motives? His motives? Yes. Isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us? Oh. Well, that's because, Junpei choked. He hadn't thought of that, and he had to be honest with himself. He had no idea. I don't know. No, wait, it's I don't know. Lotus said. Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei. In other words, you had only circumstantial evidence. I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know. Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at, just when he felt he could bear it no longer. Saved by the bell! They heard a bell beginning to ring. It was a clock at the central staircase. 3 in the morning. That means we have 3 hours left. We need to move now. 7, Clover, Junpei. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you? Okay, it does seem like this isn't a fast forward. Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say inside. Seven and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something else. Something somewhere else very far away. We must go. We have very little time left. Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going. Their next destination was Mercury. Wait, why? It sat, boiled to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino. Oh, maybe it's because we need to find the final door. The Mercury card reader. I hope we didn't get... I don't think we got railroaded to Mercury, did we? Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury key card. Seven had given him the card. I found it where we were checking out the shower room. At least that's what he'd said. Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise. Now, they were ready. Junpei and June had been chosen as investigators, the reasoning being that they had been to Edek before and no one else had. As before, Junpei sent the elevator ahead to make sure the floor they were heading to wasn't flooded. As before, the elevator returned as dry as it had left. Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator. There were only 2 floor buttons they could push. The C button, the C and button buttons. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly they began to move downward. Sometime later, Junpei and June stepped off the elevator onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw the hallway to the right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. This is a numbered door. This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. There were doors 4 and 5. There were 3 more numbered doors in a large hospital room. doors 3, 7, and 8. Junpei and June had found another door on E deck, and Lotus and Santa had found a 7th on A deck. There was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck. 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1. And now door 2 stand in front of Junpei. Stood. There was only one thing it meant.
You think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gotta be door number 9. Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about the excitement that frightened him as well. He did his best to put it from his mind, and headed back to C deck with June. Alright, let's open these up. The pieces of paper they folded lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. There were 7 of them, all told. They were all written on paper, pulled from Junpei's notebook, and each bore a code name and a door. Why had they each decided to vote that way? They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors. My question is, okay, who do you guys think forces people to go through certain doors in this run? I'm curious to hear who do you guys think is gonna be using the peer pressure card. Well, this wasn't the only reason. Junpei had proposed a voting system, and he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act as calm as the hours began to open and read the pieces of paper. Well, 7 already did numerous I hate Lotus or refused to go in the same room as her. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's less, dude, you have to go in this door with me, and more, I don't want to go with this guy. Which is funny, because 7 and Lotus do bring out the best in each other. Yeah, that's fair. It's less, I want to go to this door and I'm not gonna do that. It's more, I don't want to go through that door. The first one read, Is request door number 1. Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why? No, we don't have the time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going. He opened the second one. Next is Santa. He wants door 6. Yeah, that's what I wrote. Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pieces of paper. Laura wants the 1, Lotus wants the 2, and 7 also wants the 2. Huh? Wait a minute! There's no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man. Wow, that's rude. No. There would be no point avoiding if you let people change their choices because of stuff like that. But... just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma. Wait, how old is 7? I wanna check. Chad, I'm gonna have to ask you to how old he is. Well, that's kind of how it has to be. It's not like they thought the doors would be peer pressures. Yeah, that's fair. It's more like who you trust the most and the least. I'm not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes. Barely. So, last I checked, that's not a crime. Maybe, but what with common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin. Her skin looks perfect, 7. What the fuck? Urgh. I'm going to kill you. And then they beat the shit out of each other. Lotus's hair flared at the mane of an angry line, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her. Junpei, read the rest. Right. Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it. You know, I think the best enemies to lovers in the story of all time is Lotus and 7. Gina wants door 6.
Yes. I don't really have a reason, I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, have been read. He did some quick calculations in his head. People are requested door 1, where Ace and Clover. This was the door to A deck near the central staircase. People requested 2 were 7 and Lotus. This was the door on the bottom deck, and that could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship. People that requested the door 6 were Sanda and June. This was the door on E deck, and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke. Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through, and the door we want to take is actually door number 6. Door 2 is going to lead us to the submarine ending. Door 1 is gonna lead us to the 3rd route, and door 6 is gonna be the one we're gonna be choosing for this one. I am 95% sure of it. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I want to go through door 6. Junpei flipped open the piece of paper. It read Junpei, door 6. Of course it did. He'd written it after all.
That's a problem.
June barely spoke above a whisper, but they all knew what she'd said.
None of these teams will be able to go through the doors they want.
Clover and I chose door number 1. Lotus and I chose door number 2. That's not enough people to open a numbered door, however. Digital routes don't match up either. Let's see, we have a calculator here. So it's 5 plus 3 plus 6 equals 14. That's only enough to open door number 5. If we want door 6, we're gonna need to have ace. We've got similar problems. June, Junpei, and I want to go through door 6, but our digital route is 5. If we're gonna open that door, we need a 1. Damn. Well, what are we gonna do now? Which makes me wonder. If I do 7 plus 8 plus 4, who are the remaining guys, that's gonna lead us to door number 2, I think. No, it's door 1, actually, because... Is it? Hold on. 7 plus 8 plus 4. Equals 19. And that's 20... Wait, 19, 1 plus 9 equals 10. Ah, okay, I get it. So, Lotus goes with Clover and 7. What are we gonna do now? Junpei crossed his arms and did his best to put his thoughts in order. The others followed suit, but with little result. Eventually, Clover broke the silence.
Why don't 7 and Lotus go through door number 1? With me.
Her face was cold and flat, as was her voice, but her logic was sound. 7 and Lotus looked at each other. The math I did. The first problem resolved, Ace spoke up. What about me?
Isn't that obvious? Wasn't one of the teams just complaining he didn't have a 1?
You mean I should join Santa's team? Clover nodded, and her face still cold and emotionless. So, June, Santa, Junpei get the door that they want at the cost of Ace, and Clover gets the door she wants at the cost of 7 and Lotus. Yep. Unfortunately, no one's gonna be completely satisfied here. No one seemed to be ready to contradict her. Her response was understandable given the horrible situation in which she had found herself, but even so. But 4 will always be at the cost of 3, so most positive outcome, yeah. I understand. I will go through door 6 then. If we do as Clover suggested, we can all pass through the door through a numbered door. No one will be left behind. It seems to be the most reasonable solution. Yep. 7. Lotus, what do you guys think? I don't have a problem with it. Me either. Alright then, we're good to go. Naturally, not everyone is very happy because Clover doesn't enjoy... I mean, 7 and Lotus are really at each other's throats. At last, Junpei and the other 6 have managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to the A deck, where door 1 was near the main staircase. Junpei, June, and Ace and Santa, however, took the elevator to E deck. The ride to E deck was a silent one. Alright, let's go! Santa's words jolted them to action, and they stopped out of the elevator into a long, straight hallway. Before long, they arrived in front of door 6. By the way, if there is something that should be mentioned here, is that in this route, you actually end up going with all of the different contestants, like even with Snake. So, in the first one, I went with Snake and 7 only once. In the second one, we went with Clover and Lotus once, and with and in this one, this is our first occurrence with June, Santa, and Ace. So it really goes to show how variety is the spice of life in this regard. Well, everyone but the 9th man. I don't think the 9th man had much of a choice in the matter. Which I think that, like, is interesting that, like, the routes that quote-unquote lead you to, like, the true ending are the ones where you go in with everyone. So, like, if you go in with 7 in the first route, then going in with 7 in either direction will be bad. With a soft electronic noise, it authenticated each of them. The door opened, and all at once, the 4 of them leapt through it. Fortunately, the dead was located easily enough. This one had been placed quite close to the door they'd entered through. They gathered around quickly and hurriedly placed their palms into the authentication one by one. But you don't have to do Snake, no? Since the June, Lotus, and Santa pair still leads to the same room. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's fair. Like in the other combination, well, you don't have to do Snake. But I'm gonna shut my trap on that one because there is a catch. It stopped.
Yes, it stopped.
The countdown has ceased, but Junpei's heart was still pounding in his chest like a frantic, thunderous drum. It felt as though it might shake itself up and out of his throat. Some people probably want to do Snake. Oh, yes. He'd been through the doors 3 times before, but reputation had not dulled the experience. He was not anxious to find it dulled, however. He hoped to be free of this ridiculous game long before that happened. Alright, let's go. With that attempt at his good humor, Junpei took a deep breath and began to walk. He jogged down the stairs at the end of the hallway and found himself staring at a large door. It was a heavy thing made of iron, and more than a little threatening. He took the hold of the bar and served at his doorknob and shoved it down. So I think we all noticed, but like around like the 3rd round of escape rooms, this is when like the difficulty ramps up a little. The room stopped beyond him and stopped him in his tracks. The room beyond stopped him in his tracks. It was a gargantuan and made entirely of metal. None of the accents of woods or tile he'd seen in the rest of the ship. This room was purely functional, but utterly tremendous. Well, what the hell is this? Santa got a few words before awe stole the rest of them. The rest were too stunned to offer anything more than gasps. It was easily the largest room they'd seen, and it was somehow closed and oppressive.
The ceiling was at least 2 stories high, if not significantly more. It was easily several hundred feet across and appeared to stretch the entire width of the ship. At the center of the gargantuan room stood a massive rounded building. Even from a distance, the sheer bulk of it was oppressive. Junpei could feel the room, the building, and even the air pressing down on him. Junpei and the others were standing in the scaffolding that crisscrossed the whole area. The proper term was catwalk, Junpei thought, even though it didn't look particularly important. Alright, let's head downstairs. Nearby was a long iron staircase that made its way, eventually, to the door beneath them. They moved around towards the opposite side of the massive building, following the catwalk. They hadn't said much as they walked, but as they approached the building, Snake suddenly spoke up. "This looks to be the steam engine room." "The steam engine room?" "Yes, that thing looks like a cross-section of a mushroom. The mushroom is the boiler. So, do you see the 3 round doors near the bottom? Coal is put into those and burned, which heats the water, producing steam. The same thing that drives a steam engine. This one is simply somewhat large." "I see." Even if Face was right, the boiler was boiling nothing as they approached it. The entire room was as silent as a grave. Suddenly, Junpei heard a noise behind him. He turned just in time to see June collapse to her knees. "Hey, what's wrong?" Wow, if I had a nickel for every time I played a game where the love interest for the main lead fainted due to a mysterious cold, I'd have 2 nickels, because yesterday I played Heaven's Feel, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, and that happens to Sakura quite a bit. Even though it's more sexually charged in Heaven's Feel. "Hey, what's wrong? Are you alright?" He dashed towards her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders to steady her. It was then that he noticed. You're really warm. Is your fever coming back?" Yes, it probably is. But I'm fine. Please don't worry about me. I just need to rest, and I'll be fine." Her voice was weak and forced, but it said a great deal more than her words did. Junpei carried her near the nearest wall and propped her up against it. She let her head fall back against the wall as if she no longer had the strength to support it and drew a ragged breath. Her eyes were empty, as if she was having trouble focusing them, and even speaking seemed difficult for her. Junpei felt his hands ball into a fist and clenched tight, his knuckles whitening. He had to find a way out, and quickly. He turned, looked at Ace and Santa in turn. They might not have shared his depth of emotion, but they certainly shared his concern. He didn't need words to express the urgency of their situation. "Alright, let's get started. Hang in there, June. I'm gonna get you out of here real soon." She managed a small nod before leaning to rest her head on the wall. Well, that's one way to remove the one signal in this group. That's true. A tunnel. It goes the way across the ship. I'd say this is probably here to move coal from place to place. Probably comes from over there. And then the belt carries it down the tunnel over out here. So the conveyor belt was moving. Yes, the coal was almost certainly come out of here. It's a square hole. That's right, it goes in the square hole. Nothing in here. Ah, look at the back wall there. You can see 3 small slots, terminals for some sort of connector, perhaps. You mean you were supposed to plug something in here? Perhaps? golden gear. It doesn't look like it was always golden like this. Well then, I imagine it was prepared especially for this game. Looks like there's a door over there in the tunnel. The belt over there must deliver the coal, which is picked up and thrown into this door. The door appears to be welded shut, however. Okay, good to know. A huge bronze gear. This has to be important. There's a small door on the side of this tunnel. It's welded shut and won't open. And we have the silver one. It's a silver gear. You think it's made of pure silver? No way. Silver's way too soft to use for a gear. It's gotta be steel or iron gear that's been coated with silver. Ugh. Shouldn't have called it a silver gear then. Shouldn't have gotten your hopes up. Or are you thinking you could haul this thing back? Nah. But I think 7 would probably carry it down to you. I like how Santa's like, oh, we can steal things from here. It's really funny. Oh. Yeah, for some reason, like, did a mega zoom in. There's a bunch of wooden boxes over there by the wall. I already looked through those. There's nothing in there. A number of wooden boxes piled up under the stairs. There's nothing in them. What's this? It's a crate. There's a pair of wooden boxes in here. There's nothing in them. Look, Ace! It's some kind of snowman's secret meeting. Those are just bags full of sand. You use them to counterweight the weight you're lifting. The weight when you're lifting something with a pulley system. Man, you're too serious. Yeah, that's really funny. A number of cloth bags over there. There's nothing but sand in them. I don't like sand. I immediately thought of, like, the one line from the Star Wars prequels everyone clowns on. What's this? Given its placement, you must unlock the door to the left. There's a weird indentation on top of that thing. You think that means we have to insert something there? Yes, I imagine so. Okay. Nothing here. But there's something inside of here. I believe this opening for fueling the furnace. If we were to put some coal in there, it would ignite it. And the steam engine might start working. It's certainly possible. Oh, we were already here. Stairs stretch from the catwalk to the boiler. There's a number on these little windows along the line inside of this thing. I think you're supposed to put coal through these, but they're welded shut. I think we can get these open. Pillar goes up towards the ceiling. Guess we just gotta keep searching. Maybe I think we need to go up to the catwalk and find some stairs. Aha! The slider's down. Let's see if I can get this thing to go anywhere. Oh man, no dice. This thing isn't going anywhere. 3 sliders on the left are down, but this one is up. There are a number of lines engraved in these. I suspect we were meant to do something rather specific with them. Hey, why don't you move that slider down? Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. Nothing. Nothing happened. Maybe it needs to be prepared somehow. You saying we did something somewhere else, it'd respond? Yeah, I suppose that's one way of putting it. Well, it seems like we found another floor. One of the doors to the furnace. There's an A on it. There's a circular wheel in the center of the door. Alright, let's give this sucker a twist. And it opened! Well, it's noisy, but it opens. And it's totally pitch black in there. We should, go in here. Alright. Let's go. In the engine we go. This looks just like the door we went into. Where are we? It must be on the other side, yes? Which will put us directly above the conveyor belt. At any rate, we shouldn't keep moving. There's a great deal we've yet to investigate. That's true. You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, that huge, room in, I, the Somnium Files. It's a catwalk. There's a number on these boxes on the catwalk. I don't think we can go in there. So this leads us to the other direction. Ooh, what's this? There's a hand-operated winch. It's a simple machine used to lift things up and down. You simply turn the wheel to pull up the rope. Junpei, why don't you turn the wheel? The wheel? Yeah, I guess I will. We gave it a spin. What? That's weird. I don't feel any resistance. Ah, shit! I guess this needs to go somewhere. Good job, genius. You broke it. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. Oh, damn, no good. Those little shafts are too small for the big hole. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, to be honest. That's the kicks, then. That wheel wasn't originally part of the winch. And that means... yeah, it needs to go somewhere else. Maybe it needs to go somewhere. Where does it go, however? That's a pretty damn good question. The wheel that seems to be part of the winch. Pegs that look like they go into the holes of the winch. I have a feeling we still need to investigate this place. I think that, like, the main issue with this area is that it's really fucking huge, and I already feel like I'm missing all the details. So that's fun. Yep, that does not go in there. So we can go forward here, and then up the stairs, and that's how we go to the gear area. That's not what we want, however. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's not something I can interact with, never mind. Okay, where are we right now? I don't think we saw this area over there, so I'm gonna go in there. Yeah, we want to go one of the doors to the furnace. There's a C on it. And that doesn't seem like we can go in. If we want to go in, we need to go through the A door, which leads us all the way over here. Whole bunch of boxes in my way. Well, anyway, it looks like that's the pipe. Looks like the bottom connects to the conveyor belt housing. The coal must come from this pipe onto the conveyor. In other words, there must be a great deal of coal in that pipe. Okay, but why can't I go closer here? Is that, like, even an option, or...? This is where we got the winch. Yep, this is, we already know this. Oh, we managed to transfer it. Let's see if it fits. Sweet, it's a perfect fit. Looks like they were made for each other. Not shaky at all? Good. I should be able to turn it now. Good work, Junpei. We should be able to haul up the wooden box now. You see the wooden box? It's under the catwalk. Can you see it? It's in for the rope of the winch, isn't it? It looks like there's some sort of device in the box. I'm not sure what it is. At any rate, you might as well turn that wheel now. I'm counting on you. Alright, let's turn the wheel. What happened? The wheel only turns to the left. Only turns to the left, which means we can't reel up the rope. Yeah, can only let the rope down. Interesting. I don't think that'll be a problem. We will simply need to go downstairs if we're letting the wooden box down. I'll be counting on you, Junpei. Sure thing, no sweat. So we spin it to the left. And now we need to see what's in the box. But not before we get a cutscene! I believe the box has reached the floor. Yeah. He stuck his head over to the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box had been recently hung just below the catwalk, now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt, near when June had collapsed. Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body. He doesn't seem to be improving. Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he said what they'd all been thinking. Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know. It'll take time. He tried to desperately convince himself what he'd said was true. What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps? Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion. Senda's response was confident and certain. She gets dropped into some weird-ass shit, forced to play some messed-up game. You think about it, it's a lot weirder than we aren't just freaking out like her, you know? So we're saying we're abnormal. Yeah, we're just running around this room solving all these puzzles just like it's business as usual. How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs. Santa snorted in disgust. A guinea pig? You mean like the lab rats? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Speaking of lab rats, I've been watching, I was rewatching, Kian Carlisle's, lab rats video. It's like, it's a 3-hour video where he just, like, summarizes, like, does a retrospective on the show. And it's really nice. I think, like, I think that, like, when it comes to, like, doing hour-long retrospectives on, like, TV shows, it can very easily go into, just like, being a time waster where it's just a summary of something that's, like, not very productive. But I think he also manages to, like, have his content be concise, and not, like, stall for time. And, like, one of the things I really like, because, like, I also watched his, Zack and Cody retrospective, I started watching it. And, like, whenever he mentions Lab Rats, he doesn't, like, say the name. He either uses the theme song, or, like, he just says, living in my basement, which is also a line from the theme song. And it's really funny. I think that's, like, very advanced, memology. Is that what you're saying? Don't know. But it does seem like a possibility, you know. With that, he turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. You know, speaking of experiments... Santa suddenly stopped. There was this experiment some scientists did with rats. First, they took a square C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown. The tank had 2 exits, A and B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark that even a rat can't see anything. Exit B, however, is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So, what would a rat do if it was put in this situation? Which exit would the rat choose? There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded. B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing the exit B is electrified. Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. So after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A. I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment. You're right, it isn't very interesting. Yet. These scientists repeated this experiment over and over using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation of rats, they took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in a tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But even that wasn't the most impressive thing. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory far from the original one with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in the second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial experiments. Ooh, telepathy! These rats were not related to the rats used in the first experiment, had never come into contact with them, and yet they all easily found their way to exit A, as though they already knew. What did it mean? Are you suggesting something like telepathy? We were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium? Ace looked skeptical and Santa snorted at him. How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do it. But I do know the story is true, and if you got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it. Hey, I didn't know he was gonna say that. I predicted the line. Drops a crazy ass lord up. How the hell would I know? Yeah, he's doing the same. He's doing the same deflecting as Lotus. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot we haven't heard checked out. We gotta get the hell out of here before Jude passes out. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone. Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you. Santa stopped and turned around. Why did they use that tank for the experiment? Huh? Well, I mean, it seems like you conduct the same experiment without the water. They could just use the dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats could drown? Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh. You know, the word emergency comes from the same root as emerge. Hey, that was also something in the submarine route. You ever think about that? Well, an emergency is something urgent, something up and dangerous. And to emerge means to some sort of out, or appear, or rise out of something. Something else. So it's going to emerge in emergency. Inspiration. Inspiration. Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need. So in emergency, your real potential emerges. Thank you for the hydration, Mercy. I have a water bottle next to me, so there's not gonna be a water break, but there will be a bathroom break soon. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge. Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So let's go downstairs. Where are the stairs? We need to go through door A to reach the stairs. Yes. Okay, so there's supposed to be a box that went down here. There's a pair of boxes here. No, that's not the one. Maybe it's the other direction? Yeah. A wooden box. Let's see what's inside. It's a control panel for something. Well, actually, I know where it goes. It goes here. Maybe this hole is where the control panel goes. Well, there's only one way to find out, and you go. Dude, you did it. Everything looks alright. Okay, but what do we do now? Why didn't you press the button next to it? The orange one? Yes. Alright, I'll do that. Pushing! Sweet, all sorts of lights are lighting up in this thing. And, oh yes, I think I heard something turn on. Oh? What's that? What happened? Junpei, look, the conveyor belt's moving. Conveyor belt. Well, I guess it's done moving now. There's still a bunch of coal on the belt, though. Looks like a bunch of it got dumped off the end of that one into that wooden box where we found the control panel. Cool. Cool, huh? We have a box filled with coal. Well, we know where it needs to go. This is where the coal goes, or would go if all three of these things have been rusted shut. I know there is one of them that hasn't rusted. This one. There's a hole that let us put coal in the furnace. Maybe if I can get some coal in there and set it on fire. Okay, let's do it. Alright, that's the last of it. No coal left in the wooden box. And nothing. Great. I guess I should have expected that. Why would just throwing coal into a cold furnace do anything? Well, a man can dream. Junpei, explain it to me again. You're planning to stroke the furnace with coal, which will heat the water stored up in there to make steam, which will drive something else? Am I correct? In other words, you want to generate enough pressure with the steam to power the turbine. Drive the steam engine, right? Yeah, I guess that's gist of it. Well, in that case, it isn't enough coal. The furnace is enormous, so we're gonna need a whole lot of coal than this. For some reason, I was thinking this is where the coal goes if I had some. Nice. Okay. I want to help too. Man, I totally didn't even see her walk up. Are you feeling up to that? Yes. Yeah, right. You look like you're one stiff breeze away from falling over, June. No arguing. You need your rest, so just stay there. We'll handle this. Okay. I understand. Time for some manly work. Let's get the coal into those furnaces. So we put it all there. Man, this is a lot of work. Alright, I think this should be sufficient. Alright, now we just gotta light it. Junpei, hand me over your matches. What makes you think I have matches? I see. And how am I gonna light it? Perhaps there's a device nearby that will allow us to remotely ignite the coal. Let's take a look, shall we? Some sort of ignition device, huh? Well, I think it's the device over here. this? I think it might be. Probably is. I think this is how we might ignite the furnace. Means if we might move that thing down. Alright, let's do it. Hey, Junpei Ace, look at this! There's big gears turning under the boiler here. And it seems to be moving the gears. Which gives us access to the discs. Nice. Let's start looking. We have a gold disc. A gold disc. It has a number of lines engraved on it. I can make out 3 colors there, red, blue, and black. I wonder what they mean. We have a bronze disc. The bronze disc. It has a bunch of lines on it, 3 different colors, red, blue, and black. And the silver disc. The silver disc has a bunch of lines on it, but the red ones really stand out, huh? The red ones, huh? Well, where did we see these? Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. There we go, it's this one. Looks like the thing unlocks the door. There's the impression here it looks like it's the outline of 3 circles laid on top of each other in a triangle. Maybe if you put those 3 discs we found that thing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's stick them in. Huh? That's odd. Nothing happened. Maybe you're, I don't know, putting them all in the wrong places? Perhaps you have them facing the wrong directions. Perhaps you should rotate the discs to make some of the lines connect to one another. Well, no harm in trying. There we go. The red lines on these discs. I think that maybe I can make a star polygon with these. And that's how we open the door. On to the next one. Yes, the door's open. Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. And he seemed to have shared his excitement. Alright, Junpei. Why don't we go get Ju now? San and I will keep an eye on this door. Santa snorted. Why do we need to do that? Even if it shuts, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again. Well, I suppose that's true. Should all 3 of us go collect June then? Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it. He seemed irritated by something, however, and sat down on the stairs petulantly. So you're only interested in being contrary. He sighed with the hair of a long-suffering parent. Alright, I'll go get June. I'll be right back. He gave a quick nod to Ace and Santa and dashed off down the stairs. Before long, he was back on the first floor next to the conveyor belt and June. As he drew closer, she stood up slowly. Are you okay? He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there is no hiding the genuine concern in his voice.
Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry.
June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish. Just to make sure, he reached out and put his hand against her forehead. Good. You're feeling a lot better. She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but still wasn't down to what seemed normal to him. Are you sure you're all right? He had to be sure. June gave him a look.
Oh, you're such a warrior, Junpei. Oops. I mean, warrior.
She giggled. He wasn't sure if she just made a joke or not, but seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. If she was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead. Let's go.
Go where?
Oh, right, I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so...
Great, let's go!
June clasped her hands and nodded urgently. As they walked towards the exit, Junpei noticed Santa sitting on the stairs. He was, however, holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and June slowed down and finally stopped in front of him. What are you looking at? Santa answered without looking up, his voice very quiet. It's a photo. It's my sister.
Sister? Santa, you got a sister?
Santa simply nodded. Yeah. Kid was as cute as a button. June cocked her head, confused.
She was only about an inch tall then?
Santa glared at her. Oh, Akane, you and your, silly jokes.
Sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button.
You missed the point, June. But it's okay.
Probably more like a half inch.
Santa didn't smile or laugh. He simply turned his back to his picture and spoke. I was her Santa Claus. His sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either. We didn't have parents. They bought it in an accident when we were still kids. So I had to be like her dad. And that meant I brought her Christmas presents every year. On Christmas Eve, I'd leave the present next to her pillow. The next morning, she'd come running into my room with a big smile. Oh, this is the first time we're hearing that song. I didn't think it'll come in so early. Morphogenetic sorrow.
Look! Santa left me a present! Santa got me a doll I really wanted. I'm so glad he finally got the letter I wrote.
I was the one who told her to write those letters. I'd say write down something you want and mail it to Santa. The address I gave her was somewhere in Northern Europe that doesn't exist. Anyway, she'd write the letter and stamp it, and send it out. And then a few days later, it'd show up back in our mailbox marked address unknown. I'd open the letters before she'd figure out they'd been sent back. Once I had a letter, I'd go up to a couple stores with some money I'd saved up over the year and buy her the stuff she'd asked for. Man, that's genuinely sweet. Took a lot of saving, but I managed to buy her presents every year. Junpei was silent. He could not think of something to say. He could think of nothing to say. June looked down, uncomfortable. The wall next to him suddenly groaned. Either he hadn't heard the sound or didn't care. Santa kept talking. But one year, her letter was different. She didn't write a list of toys she wanted or anything like that. Instead, it said,
I don't want any more presents this year. Instead, I want you to make my wish come true. My wish is that we'll be happy like this for a really, really long time.
oh, she knew. But I couldn't make that wish come true. Some Santa I am. Santa looked sad. Junpei had never seen him look sad before. He wasn't sure he liked it. Junpei decided it was probably best not to ask Santa any more questions. But
What happened?
June glanced up at Santa quickly as she spoke. He answered, but only with an effort. She died. She was killed 9 years ago. I mean, that tracks with the information we got with Seven, that like one of the kids died in the 9 years ago. There was nothing Junpei could say. His heart felt like a great lump of lead. Junpei bit her lip and looked away. Her face was pale. All right, let's go. Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back to his pocket and headed back to the stairs, taking them two at a time. Junpei and June looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say. Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on! Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them. They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked really tired. The door had shut, but it wasn't because of concern. Junpei quickly solved this puzzle a second time. The door opened once again. In single file, they walked through. After walking for nearly 15 feet, they found themselves in a metal door. It opened easily enough, and they passed through it as well. A new room stretched out before them. Is this a warehouse? No, I believe this is the cargo room. This must be where they store all this vessel's freight.
There are wooden crates everywhere. I wonder how old they are.
Junpei, Ace, and June had stopped unconsciously and pushing a few of them surroundings. Santa's voice broke through their momentary trance. Well, we probably ought to start with finding the exit, right? Let's get going. Okay. Escape room number 6. No, wait, this is our 5th one. Yeah, this is our 5th one. Because we did 2 escape rooms. We did 2 escape rooms in the last round, 1 in the second one, in the second round, and now we're doing 2. There are a bunch of bags here. I wonder what's in. Oh, it's the 9th man! A card with the 9th man's face printed on it. What's he doing here? What's that? It's a card. It has a headshot on it. A headshot? Yeah. I'm not really sure what its purpose could possibly serve. Oh, this is creepy. And we also have Santa's headshot. A card with Santa's face printed on it. Ooh, this is creepy. These crates are a little smaller than the others. They look like they're for children. They're the children of the other crates. Junpei, that sounds like some sort of fairy tale. Really? I don't know, man. You ever think about how crates could reproduce? Doesn't sound like a fairy tale to me. The cradle triplets. Wow, the crate... The box. There's a thing inside. These crates are quite large. They seem to be tied to one another with sturdy straps. 3 crates are tied to one another with several straps. Here's another one. It's a card with the headshot of 7. A card with 7 face printed on it. Ah, look at here. It's locked. We need the key. All the boxes have numbers on them. Do they? Oh. He bent down and picked something they had seen next to the box. I completely forgot about this puzzle. Junpei, take a look at this. Cards. We have Lotus. There's a picture of Lotus on this card. Man, her hair is ridiculous. It's like clay or something. It says the pot to the kettle. I want to see if... Man, the guy on the card is one good-looking son of a bitch. Yeah, now I'm getting the responses. Way more class than the other chump. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Yeah, listen, it's been years since I last played this puzzle. I just forgot it. Yeah, what's your problem? Didn't I say... I meant you. Didn't say I meant you, did I? Shit. This is 7's card. Is this supposed to be a trading card? It's not a good one. Looks like some kind of criminal. Looks like one of those photos you'd see at a built-in Gordon police station. Man, they're all jerks. Let's see what he has to say about this. This card has the 9th man on it. He's the first victim of the nonary game. Actually, come to think of it, he was acting pretty weird. I wonder what his deal was. We've searched all the boxes. There's nothing to them. More cards! This must be...
Oh no! Don't look at it! I'm not cute at all, and I'm not photogenic, and I don't look sexy either. Next to Clover, my skin looks gross. I'm not sexy like Lotus. I know guys go for one who look like Lotus. But, I'm trying to... I'm doing the best I can. So please don't call me a board or a trash can or a cutting board.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. I haven't said anything like that, have I? She was teasing him. There's something inside the crate. Not cool, man. You took this picture without my permission.
Looks pretty cool, though. You look pretty handsome in this picture.
Hey, knock it off, lovebirds. I like how everyone in the cast is clocking them for being overly flirty.
We're not a couple, not at all. Not in any way.
Sure you aren't. There's some sort of liquid in these barrels. Not sure what it is, however. This could or could not be relevant. This is Clover's card. You know, looking at this photo, she's kind of cute, isn't she? Huh? What's up?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Why does her smile make me feel cold? Yeah, don't do that, Junpei. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're only out. Snake. That's Snake's card. Yeah, you want to see it? No, that's fine. I think there's another box here. It's Ace's card. He looked like some kind of European lord. Oh, my headshot. You want to see it? It's actually a pretty good picture. No, I don't need to see it. In fact, really ought to get back to our search. You know, notice how Ace is the only one who's not really humoring these kinds of talks. Looks like there's some sort of boxy device up there on the top of the stairs. These stairs, they go up 3 stories. What are you waiting for, Junpei? Whatever, I'm going. Some sort of boxy device. The monitor is off. I've got a green switch here and a red one. It's some kind of lever. None of them seem to do anything, though. Maybe the power's off. Yeah, maybe. There's a single green line in the bottom, though. That means something, alright.
is the only area with a fence around it.
Junpei, think you can go take a look at that? Sorry, but no thanks. Why? I've got a bad feeling about it. Yeah, there's literally a pussy. There's literally a coffin there. Okay, fine. I'll go.
Please be careful, Santa.
Yeah, but just in case. Wait, what's he going to do with that screw? I don't see what it's throwing a screw at the fences. Holy shit!
Oh man.
There's electricity running through that fence. Looks like it.
We can't get to the other side.
Well, we could jump off those crates, but we wouldn't be able to get back. So we have 9 boxes and 9 cards. I had finally collected all 9 picture cards. All that remains was to insert the cards into the slots in front of each box. Junpei stared at the cards with his hands. Ace peered over his shoulder then. You know which card goes in which box, yes? Junpei gave him a look. Yeah, of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match the numbers to our numbers to the numbers on the boxes. So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace goes into box 1. The card picture of Snake goes into box 2 and so on. Ah, I see. Junpei thought he might have imagined, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence. June, are you okay? She did not respond. Junpei spun back to face Ace. I'm sorry, I gotta go check up on her. You go do the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you. He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off towards June. Are you alright? What happened? June called out to her as he ran. Junpei called out to her as he ran. As he arrived, June was climbing onto her feet with Santa's help.
I'm sorry. I'm fine. I just tripped.
Don't give me that. Now's not the time.
But it's true. I tripped over a box.
Junpei put his palm to her forehead. Her temperature was much the same as it has been last time he checked. She wasn't hot, like she'd been before, but she wasn't still warm. Her fever hasn't completely gone. I saw her fall. I think she really just did trip on something, you know? Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up. Still, to fall down like that, I think she's probably still a little messed up. June was doing her best to stay busy, brushing off the dust of her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face a bit flushed. But she did look great. Better deal than she had. Still. Alright, then let's get out of here as fast as we can, so we can get you to the hospital.
Oh, I don't think that's anything that serious. I just need a bit of medicine and some sleep and I'll be fine.
Medicine. Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I bet Ace could swing for that for you easy. Ace? Why? Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company. Cradle Pharmaceutical is the name, I think. Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soparil. Soparil? Soparil. Junpei couldn't shake the feeling he'd heard about Soparil before. Santa continued. Soparil. Soparil is an anesthetic that is gaseous at room temperature, similar to nitrous oxide. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. For those reasons, it's found widespread acceptance with police and military forces in numerous countries. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room cleaner. It is practical, ethical, and humane. Developed 6 years prior, it was made from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many large governments placing large orders. Demand for Soparil skyrocketed, and as it did, so did the stock of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Why do you know all this? Santa's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Santa's reply was blunt and simple. I heard it from the old man himself. From Ace. When? By the number 4 door at the central stairway. We were searching the second classroom. Remember how Snake, 7, and you went to door 5? I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it came up, you know?
Are you worried about something?
No, nothing. As he spoke, Junpei looked over towards Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes. What the hell is he doing? He turned back to June and Santa. June, don't push yourself, alright?
Yes.
Santa, could you take care of her? Sure. He gave them both a short nod and then turned and headed towards Ace. What are you doing? Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him, and his face was pale and covered in sweat. What happened? Nothing. My vision's gotten rather blurry, I think because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment. What can't you see well? These pictures. Ace held out the cards out to Junpei, splayed out with the shape of the fan. I don't care to admit, I may be developing presbyopia. Growing old is a difficult thing. He made the best attempt as he could in his self-deprecating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn. At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you. Feeling awfully tired, if you don't mind. I'd like to rest for a bit. He shoved the cards to Junpei's hands and walked away quickly. Junpei looked at him quizzically. How could simply looking at cards have tired him out? Junpei looked down at the cards of his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear, and each person was easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly that bad? But if it wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable? This was when Junpei remembered he'd heard from Lotus much earlier. Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't even remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Maybe he's got prosopagnosia. Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs looking quite depressed. It was reasonable, of course, that he'd feel that way. If he really did have prosopagnosia, there is no doubt that it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was the best to keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being. Oh well. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back towards the boxes. It was time to solve the puzzles of the 9 boxes. 9 cards with pictures and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them for a moment and then began. His card went to the box number 1. Then Snake went to box number 2. Then Santa's card named to box number... Okay, we know what goes where. And finally, 9th man's card went to box number 9. And finally, the 9th man's card went to... As soon as he inserted all the cards, all 9 box lids popped open as one. He peered inside. In each box was a single pin. They each looked a little like sewing pins, but much thicker. Junpei collected all of them quickly and shoved them into his pocket. These looked like the kind of pins you use for sewing. There are 9 all told, and they have numbers that run from 1 to 9. I think I remember where that goes. Now we go upstairs. And we need to put this here. There are 6 holes here. It looks like the pins I found would be perfect fit for them. The ones you found in 9 boxes, right? Well, why didn't you try it? Alright, let's see what happens. I think 2, 4, and 6 should go in the top part, and 3, 5, and 7 on the bottom part. Well, some of them lit up. Yeah, 3 and 6. I wonder if there's some kind of rule that determines which lights go on. Well, I put the 2, 4, and 6 pins on the top part, and the 3, 5, and 7 on the bottom. You think maybe it's the digital route? The digital route. 2, 4, and 6, the route is 3. Therefore, light 3 turns on. 3, 5, and 7 is 15. the digital root of 15 is 6. Therefore, light 6 turns on. Makes sense, right? I see. The lights that match the digital root of the pins inserted in the top and lower parts will light up. So that's how it works. Well, there's one other thing I'd like to check. Well, he wants to try, but he's certainly welcome to. So he put that 1, 2, and 3 pins on the top, 6, 7, and 8 pins on the bottom. Oh. They turned off. Okay. So if we do all of them again, then we basically... we can't backtrack. The digital root for the pins you insert is the same as the number of lights that are lit. Those lights turn off. Yep, looks like that's the trick. Alright, now we know how it works. Can I give it a try? Wait, you mean you know what we're supposed to do with these lights? Well, no, but I figured we could try and see if we can turn all of them on, right? I figured something has got to happen if we manage that. Turn on the lights, huh? Okay, Junpei, let's make sure we know how this works, right? Pick one of the 6 holes, then pick one of the pins on your hand and insert it to the hole. Okie doke. Let's see. Ah, I see. Four, 5, and 6 have the same digital root, I see. Seven, 8, 9. 7 plus 8 equals to... okay, I think they just have the same digital root, that's it. So this is gonna give us the digital root of 6. 4 and 5 equals 9. And that gave us 6 and 7. Time to get the math out. Time to get the calculator out. Use a calculator. Okay, so we need the digital root of 11. So okay, cool. So now we need to think of a way to get 11. So it's 5 and 6. So it's... ah, shit! I miscommunicated them.
Okay, now we have 3 and 8. 3 is 14 and 8 is 17. So 17 minus 9. Yeah, 17 minus 9 is 8. That's 17. And now we need the 13. Now we need 13, which means we need a 12. So it's 4. So it's 8. 1. 3. Bingo! I'm doing math. All the lights are on and the shutter opened up. Hey, does that mean... Yeah, we gotta do it again. Man, I thought we were doing so well. Okay, so we got 9 holes. There's an F above them. I don't know what the F means, but I do know one thing. What's that? This time there are 9 holes, so we need to insert 9 pins. Man, that's boring. Well, why didn't you just try, alright? I think F is 15, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna check what I wrote in my notes from last week. Yep, that's 15! So now we need to understand how to make everything equal 15 all the way. So let's say we put the 6 in the middle. 6 minus 15 equals... It's not. It's gonna give us 9. So we have 9. So we're gonna have to get like a sum of 9 in all of these in order to get 15. So we have 2 and 1. It's gonna give us a 9. This also means that... okay, shoot, this is actually not good. Because the 6 is gonna be our core. I'm gonna see if Santa has any hints for us. Woo. Nope, no hints. I think maybe F means 15. Yeah. Now we basically need to figure out what needs to go in the middle. And then if I put this in 5, it means that we need a 10. Like, we need a 10 in all of these. The rest of the numbers need to be equal 10. So we can have 7 and 3. And then it's... And then that gives us 15. 7 plus 4 equals 11. Okay, no, it can't be 5. It means we need the sum of 12. I'm a little bamboozled here. Seems like the F. Nope, it doesn't seem like we're gonna get any hints from this. You can also just put the 9 in there, and that means we need a sum of 6 in all of these.
And then it means we need another sum of 6. In this case, we have 5 and 1. That being said, that's also not a good number because... Ooh boy. Can't believe I'm forced to do math! An 8. And I'm a little confused as to what needs to be the big number here. Then it's a 10. And then I need to think of ways to get a 10. So we have 6, 4, 7, 3, 6. Okay. Wait, this could actually work. One 9. And then we have 4 and 6. We have 2 and 8. This is gonna put me in 3. And then it's 6 plus 9. How much does 6 plus 9 equal? I'm forgetting. No, that's 15. Shit, no, this can't go here. Fuck. Fuck me. No, this is not the solution, and I know it, because, well, all of these equal 15. All the combinations in 5 work, but the issue is all the combinations that don't have 5 in the middle. So this 6 and 7, that gives me... Oh my god, I can't count. No, that gives me 16. So we can't have 6 and 7 in the same alley. 6 and 4 also, we can't have that. In addition... Yeah, no, this isn't it. This needs to be... And then it's 15. And then it's 9, 1. And it's 6 and 7, it's 14. So we can't have that number. This is 7 plus 9 gives us 16. I don't know, maybe the number needs to be something else, but I feel like having 5 in the center is the solution here. But the issue is it applying other places? If we put it at 7 plus... No, but it can't work because it's, Are we getting any other hints, Santa? Nope, F means 15. All the pins need to add 15. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can also like put one of the higher numbers, so like if I put it 6 here, that means the rest of them need to add to 9. I remember correctly. Maybe that's the solution. And then here we need to find all the ways in which it adds to 9. So 8 plus 1, 2 plus 7, 3 plus... Fuck, no. Is what I was about to be onto something, only to realize that no. None, like, the number that adds to 3 and 9 is and then we can't have that. It needs to be a 9 as well. Unless it's 6, 3, and 9. Man, I am 6, 3, and 9. It's 12. Nope. Seven, and we have 7, it means it's an 8. No, I have a feeling it needs... No, I think it needs to be a 5, because then it adds 10, and all these numbers need to add 10. It's all just about a matter of how we combine them. So in this case, if I put it 5, and then we have 6 plus 4. Let's say we put 6 here and we put 4 here. Then if we want to have 15 here, let's see. 15 minus 4 equals 11. Do we have any numbers that add up to 11? I mean, we have 8 and 3. And then we have 3 plus 8, which equals 11, plus 4 equals 15. So 8 plus 5 equals... This means the 2 needs to go here, which means the 7 needs to go here. Hold on, chat, am I cooking? Chat, am I... No, I'm not cooking! Fuck! No! It's that stupid 9 that has me foiled. I have no idea where to put it. Ah, I was so close. Okay, let's see what here is 15, what isn't. This, and this. These equals 15. The issue is everything in between. Because if I put this, it's 9 plus 5, that equals 14, so we can't have that sum over here. Meaning maybe we need to get... This is 7 plus 8. This is a good combination, because... Yeah! Because it gives us the 7 plus 8 without us being concerned. The issue is probably this column over here. We can't have 7 and 8 be here because then that's going to create troubles. If I put this here, then it gives me 10 equals 12, which is also going to be trouble because we need to have a 15 here. So maybe 7 and 3 need to be in diagonals. They can't be in the same... I don't think they can be in the same lane. I think this is a good combination, meaning, so 7 minus 15 equals 8. That's the issue, 6 plus 7 equals 1. It's 13, which means the 2 needs to go here, but 7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 plus 8 equals 17. Oh, fuck. Maybe we need like a different sum in the middle. Yeah. Man, I'm a little stumped here. We need to think. If I put 4 here, then the sum we need to go to is 11. How many of these combinations give us 11? 5 plus 6 gives us 11. 7 plus 4, unfortunately, gives us 11. I don't know what to do. I say I don't know what to do, and then I just end up repeating the same sentence, but I have a feeling that 5 needs to be in the middle, because then it allows all the other combinations to score 10. 9 plus 6 equals 15. They cannot be in the same sentence. They have to be separate. And then 6 plus 1 equals 7. That means the other one needs to be an 8. 9 plus 8 equals 17 though, so we can have them in the same. Oh god, I'm losing it. I'm literally losing my marbles. What else can we put there? Maybe it's... If we put 3 here, then that's a 12. 12? 9, then we have 12. How many of these divisions could give us 12? 9 plus 3, unfortunately. 9 plus 3 gives us a 12. Chat, can you give me a hint? I'm this close to looking up the solution, but we're not doing it that way. I'm going to break my brain over this. Nine. It gives me a 6. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Yeah, that's a 6. We can't have that here. We also can't have that here. Okay, so the sum of this area needs to be 13. What is 13? It's 9 and 4. I don't remember the answer. It's okay. We're trying to solve it together. This already gives us a 15, and then this means 9 plus 5 equals 1, and then it's 8, 9. 7 plus 9 equals 6, and then it's... And the 6 needs to go here. Hold on. Hold on. Did we do it? Let's go! I was correct! Man, this game makes me feel so smart. There we go, all pins inserted, all lights lit. We did it! The power's on now, yeah, so my intuition was correct. And then I just needed to understand how to... Man, I'm so smart. I like it when I connect the dots. We did it, the power's on now. Looks like there's electricity going to the top of the monitor now. Alright, let's see if we can activate the device on top. It's a green button, a red button, and a lever. I wonder what these do. Yeah, pop in the emojis, I deserve it. I think this might help. What the hell is this? Where did you find this? What is that? Where'd you find it? Not where you were messing around with the pinholes. Okay, fine. Let's look at the instructions for this thing. According to what it says here, this thing remote control for that. That? Yeah, that. What's he pointing at? Oh. The machine over there apparently is called the Pushmaster 5000. Are you serious? Whatever, so what are we supposed to do with the Pushmaster 5000? You see the coffin over there at the top? You see the coffin over there with the top crate? Top of the crates? don't you want to know what the deal is with it? I do. You want to check it out? Yeah. Alright, then how do you feel like we're gonna get there? Well, there are some crates on the top side of the fence piled up like stairs. What if we make a path for the coffin in there? How would we do that? Line up the crates. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess that is just another one of Zero's puzzles. Yeah. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Oh, looks like the Pushmaster 5000 runs off a battery. Skipper using up his energy too fast. It's been programmed so it'll only start moving once its path has been completely programmed in. Alright. I'll keep that in mind. New material has been added to the file screen. You can move in 4 directions, you cannot move diagonally. If the Pushmaster pipe exceeds the battery life, it will be reset. It cannot lift heavy objects, so we can't do this, we can move these. Oh boy. The monitor shows a top-down view of the area if we can move the machines. Once I want to send my orders to the Pushmaster, I just pull the lever. Alright, let's give this a try. Sure thing. Just keep in mind that there is a limit to the battery, alright? Battery dies after 50 moves. At least that's what it says in the manual. 50 moves, huh? Also keep in mind that the Pushmaster can move the heavy metal crates, okay? Got it. Okay. Alrighty, so basically you need to put all the blocks in here. Okay, we already fumbled, I think. Okay, we can't push 2 boxes at once. I see. Okay, the issue is... Yeah, I made this shape I can't push. Oh boy, okay, we fumbled. Here's another puzzle I know is infamous for its difficulty. Man, I know that like in VLR the puzzles are also way harder. Like I remember correctly, like these ones are relatively simple in comparison. But now we know we can also move to the yellow blocks, so that's very good to know. BLR is really tough, but I don't remember how tough Z. Yeah. Yeah, this and then this one. Yeah, we ran out. Okay, we need to think about how to move this. I'm not very good in these kinds of puzzles, and I will say that. I don't remember how to solve this one as well. So, but we do know that the yellow area are places we can go and we should take advantage of. Tough. This is really tough. I gotta lock in. I gotta make sure I understand the. I really gotta activate my 2 brain cells. 3, even make them make love and get a 3rd one. Hey. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to like think about this, but like also I'm seeing a lot of takes about like the event, the assassination. I'm not gonna like again. I don't want to get like. Sometimes I do get like it's a lie. Sometimes I do get political in my streams. I think that like as my opinion is that like. Oh my god! I keep making the same mistake. Shit. Like I think that like like being political is a neutral thing. Like it's not a good or a bad thing, and I think that like everything is low-key political. I think Zero Escape, you can like if you scratch, you can also find the politics of that game and what it has to say about what. I think that one of them is like don't trust big corporations. That's like that's a political stance. But again, I just feel like I don't have much of an opinion about like the situation. I know that like Charlie Kirk was a pretty shitty person, but I don't wish that kind of fate on anybody. I don't really have much of an opinion. It's a thing that happened. Sorry for like the awkward thing. I'm like this is this puzzle is just so this puzzle is just really fucking with my brain that I just don't know how to make the right move. I don't know why, you know, maybe we should, I think puzzle games need to stop having such good stories, because if they'll stop having such good stories, then I won't have to like torture you with my bad gameplay. I think that's the hot take I have to share with you guys. I don't even know how to solve this puzzle. Skill issue, I guess. No! No! Fuck! You know, but I have a feeling that like maybe I know how to motivate. So we can't push the cubes in these areas or in these areas because then they won't be able to move. I have a feeling though, even if I try like navigate through the inner cube, maybe I might be able to reduce my steps. Oh no, this is not the move because then it pushes us to the dead zone. If I go here. Oh my god, no, no, no! Santa, I suck at this puzzle. It makes me think I can only push stuff. You can only push one box at a time because it just doesn't have enough power for more. Hey, did you notice that the number of moves you can make just went up? What? Maybe it says something about this in the manual. When beginning the operation will take some time before the Pushmaster is fully charged. In other words, it doesn't start out fully charged battery. Got 51 moves last time, should be able to get 52. Oh wow, this is really nice. 52 moves, let's go. Nah! Fuck. Oh my god. I think this is the right move though. Go up here, go down here, go da da da. To the left, then. I think I'm onto something. Put it in the clover shape like this, and then I can just I can push this guy over here. Nope, it's still not good enough. But like, guys, did you see the vision? If I move it into those inner squares, maybe I have like a better formation I could get my shit with. Maybe we're doing it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking things. I'm probably overthinking things. Maybe we don't need to like do all the pushing and shoving this early. Oh my god. Chad, I am a genius. I am a genius! I am a genius! No! No, I'm not! Fuck! This is the most it's so over to we are so back to we are so over moment I've ever had. Okay, this we can't move it here. It has to Ugh, no. I think I was onto something though, Chad. I think I was onto something. Okay, so the problematic location is right here. It's the second one. Fuck. Okay, problem solved. We got a trickiest location figured out. There we go. Fuck! Oh my god. I am... Oh my god, I can't do this. I'm getting there. I think like I'm getting close, but I'm still not quite there. I hope you I hope you guys find my suffering funny. You better. You better find it funny. Junpei, you gotta stop being so stingy with your moves. What are you? You've got enough power to get around the whole field at least 3 times. If it gives you that many moves, then you're probably going to have to use quite a few of them, you know? Okay. So, yeah, we need to do 3 laps. Fuck! You've heard of the pin puzzle, and get ready for this atrocity. Go. Okay, I'm done putting in the program. What to do next? Just be quiet and watch. See, it's moving already. Yeah, that took forever. But I did it. Awesome! The Pushmaster 5000 just did what I told it to and lined up all the crates. Great. Now we can reach the coffin. We just need to climb those crates over by the fence. We go. We have a coffin. They walked slowly and past a row of crates until they came to the coffin. They stopped another to another, and Junpei put his hand on the lid of the coffin. Mommy! Just kidding. He smirked heartily on his own joke. Junpei grumbled and shook his head. Whatever, just open it. He's probably doing a reference to Alice. Junpei resisted the urge to remind Sen that he would have been had it open a long time ago. Sen interrupted and quickly threw off the lid of the coffin. They peered inside, all ice. Yeah, all ice. Contrary to what they expected, the inside of the coffin was quite large. It was mostly empty, but not completely so. Laying on the bottom was a rusty key, and next to the key... a gun! Mem's been stuck on it for years. Yeah, I'm not looking for... when I get to VLR eventually, probably not after this game, because because we have Metaphori Fantasio to finish and also Honkai to continue. Yeah, a revolver. It looks pretty old.
I wonder if this is a replica.
Junpei reached down and cautiously picked up the revolver. In his hand, it felt heavy. He checked the cylinder. There were 6 bullets. He'd never seen a real gun or even a real bullet before. He couldn't tell if they were real or not. Japan moment. Yeah, P3P is... It's on the docket, I promise. The barrel was rifled and nothing seemed to be blocking it. As Ace had said, the gun was very old once. However, it appeared to have been well maintained. If it was a real gun, Junpei had thought it was most likely functioned perfectly. If it was real. Holding the gun made Junpei feel unpleasant. Carefully he placed it back in the coffin. You're not gonna take it? Of course not. All something like this is gonna do is cause more trouble. It's a powerful weapon that gives one person a huge advantage. Something like that would be way too dangerous to have around. We're in enough danger already. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Maybe Zero put this gun here hoping that something like this might happen. In other words, maybe put it there to make us fight each other.
In that case, we'd most certainly leave it here. I, for one, have no desire to let Zero control me. The others nodded and had no desire to be under Zero's control either. Okay, we've got this figured out, but you ain't gonna leave the key there, are you? Yeah, of course not. Junpei picked up the rusty key and slid on top of the coffin back into place. The gun back where they had found it. Okay, we have a key that is rusty. Where does that go? The door leads to the steam engine room. Let's just put this key in here, and yes! Sounds like it did it.
Yay! Looks like it's open, Junpei.
I see. This key should open this door. Hey, what are you waiting for? Let's go! Yes! It's opening! And well... So... I think I'm gonna go for a few more sentences because I think I know where I want to finish. The hallway had left the cargo room headed straight towards the stern. Junpei and the other three proceeded down as silently. Some distance along, a large room opened on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be. We've seen this elevator before.
We got off the one on the left just a little while ago.
Then we went through number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room. Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
And now we're back here.
In other words, we made a loop. We're back to where we started. Junpei approached the elevator. Gently pushed the triangular button on the wall next to it. A moment passed. The elevator door opened. Okay, and shut. Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator. The elevator was now functional. What do we do? Should we return to C deck? No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first. I agree. Let's go. Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevator behind and continued down the hallway. Sometime later, Santa, who had been walking several paces beyond the rest, suddenly stopped. Set in the wall in front of him was a door. So far, Junpei could see there was no other way to proceed. It was just a door or nothing. All right, let's open it. Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. He paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room, and there he saw the number that had hung over their heads since they'd woken up. 9. Like the numbers of every other door, this too was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set into the back of the room. Junpei leapt towards it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed hold of the door handle and shook. Nothing, but he had expected it to open. The red sat on the wall next to the door. Its screen read vacant. Finally, they found it. And everything was fine after this. I think we can end the series for now. I think, yeah, it's been, you know, I always have this expectation in my brain that, like, maybe
will be able to finish the route today. And then I play the game and I struggle. And the series. Yeah, I was kidding, of course. We're gonna be continuing on Sunday. We have one more route to finish. But yeah. Like every time I'm like, oh, maybe I can finish this route now. Maybe we'll be able to finish it today. And then I'm like, nope. The Pushmaster fucking destroyed me. And the pin puzzle as well. But I solved them on my own with only one hint that told me I was in the right direction. And some hints from the game. I did not open a walkthrough. I finished it all on my own, and that's something to be celebrated. I am getting better at puzzle games. I don't even think it's muscle memory. I think I managed to solve it. So yeah, thank you so much for enjoying the stream. We'll be continuing the game and hopefully finishing the safe route on Saturday. And until next time, I hope you stay frosty. Goodbye.